press conference.
For your patience and allowing us to conduct this situation in a safe manner. I'm glad to hear the bells of St. Matthew's are ringing, and we do ask our community's prayers for one family today, because one person has been killed today. This situation, though, has played out. It began earlier today with a disgruntled employee that came back to his place of employment, which is Virginia's restaurant, with a gun, and killed an individual in the restaurant, held another hostage for some time. This was not a terrorist act. This was not a hate crime. This was a tragic case of a disgruntled individual, I think with a history of some mental health challenges, who took his anger into his own hands, and we've tragically lost a member of our community today. The situation did play out with the hostage being safe. He's safe. The assailant has been shot and has been taken to a local hospital. He's in critical condition. I can't thank the members of our first responders, our Charleston Police, the Fire Department, the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Cannon is with me. Chief Taylor, Jerome Taylor, is with me this afternoon, our Chief of the Charleston Police Department. And I got to tell you, these brave men and women who provide public safety to our community, they did an incredible job. We should every day be thankful. You never know what day they're going to be needed for any kind of situation, and they're there to protect our community and our citizens. I'm saddened by this tragic situation, but I'm so thankful to our first providers. SLED will be doing an investigation of the whole matter, and we're really not taking questions, but I will ask Chief Taylor if he would like to add any remarks. Chief.
Chief, come over to the middle, please. Thank you, sir.
Speak up a little bit, please.
Yes, sir. I also responded on King Street at 12:21 today, and about 2 minutes later they got there and they observed an individual lying in the restaurant. They extracted the individual along with several patrons of that particular restaurant. The individual was transported to the hospital, and it became a hostage situation. We had several individuals that was in the restaurant, and plus we had an active shooter in the restaurant, individual who was armed. At that particular time, we notified our various resources, our various law enforcement partners. They arrived to assist. We had a perimeter and had our hostage negotiator on scene. We had various resources talking to this particular individual. The events continued to unfold, and as the mayor stated, with the individual who engaged the person who is the alleged perpetrator as being an individual, being a victim of being shot. Our hostages have been rescued safe. Notify Chief Keel from SLED, and he sent his agents down and they're doing the investigation.
What are the names, Chief?
Well, I can't give the names of the individuals at this particular time. Right now I just gave you a brief synopsis of the events itself. The only thing I could say that they are Charleston Police Department officers.
Charleston people.
Can you, with all due respect, the person who died, was it the person who was pulled out of the restaurant earlier today, or was it somebody just now, or a little while ago?
That's unknown to me. The only thing I could state to you, the individual that we pulled out of the restaurant was transported to the local hospital.
We have two victims, one dead and one critically injured. Is that correct?
That's the information I received.
Is the dead person wounded by gunshot? Was the dead person?
Ma'am, I don't know. That would come from either medical facilities or either the coroner.
Can you tell us the number of hostages? Do you have a concrete number?
Well, in the beginning, the restaurant was full of people. So the numbers is completely unknown. The only thing that I'm saying that the officer, when they arrived, they were able to extract the other patrons of the restaurant.
Is it fair to say, Mayor, 3 people were shot, including the gunman? Or was it 2, including the gunman? 2.
2, including the gunman.
Was the
Okay,
gunman shot
that's
by
right.
police?
Yes.
And what department fired the shots? Was it the North Charleston SWAT?
Charleston Police Department is the department that was engaged.
Was that a stun grenade we heard earlier? That one thing to sound like a shot?
May have been a concussion grenade.
Right, okay.
I'm not too sure.
Do you know the type of weapon used at this point? By the
No,
suspect?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Do you know how long
Chief,
this
did-
lasted altogether?
Did officers have to make entry before that shot was fired?
It was an active shooter. And normally it's a particular tactic that's utilized with active shooters.
Do we know why he was disgruntled or upset in the first place?
I have no idea,
We
sir.
heard he was fired a dishwasher the other day. Do you know anything about that?
No, sir. I have no idea.
What about the conversation before police had to force entry, the hostage conversation? Could you talk more about that?
I wasn't there. So the negotiation, we doesn't discuss that. So I don't know exactly what was said.
Was it a situation where this guy was not going to come out peacefully? Is that when you had to make the decision to go in?
It was an active shooter.
Thank you for your questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
When will you have
More information as the story unfolds.
Thank you, Mayor.
God bless you all.
Thank you.
Please keep the family of the one who has died in our community's prayers. God bless.
Thank you.
Okay, as you have just heard an update on the recent shooting and hostage situation at Virginia's restaurant on King Street. It all started at a little after noon today. We have told that 2 people have shot, including the gunman, and 1 person is dead. We want to go back to the scene. Ashley Osborne has Sheriff Al Cannon with Charleston County. Ashley?
Yeah, guys, we're joined right now by Sheriff Al Cannon with the Charleston County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Cannon, would you like to add anything?
Well, I just want to emphasize there were a number of agencies that responded to assist the Sheriff's Office in North Charleston, among others, in the sled. Those officers that first arrived on the scene, I think, did a heroic job in going in and escorting people out. Law enforcement had remained inside the restaurant with the individual upstairs for the majority of the incident. By that time, we had got down to, quite frankly, didn't know how many hostages might be upstairs and exposed to this individual. We knew there was at least 1, but there was a continuing threat, and while we were attempting to talk to him and get him to come out, we were very mindful of the fact that he was upstairs. It was somewhat of a complex stairway situation, so they couldn't see him, but they were communicating with him. But they were, in the final analysis, concerned about that, the potential for other people being upstairs and exposed to him. And there were indications early on that he was aware that there was at least 1 person up there.
Any connection with the people that he held hostage to this individual that you know of?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
In terms of like a boss or...
I don't know of the relationship. That was not so much of an issue there. We initially had patrons and employees and got as many of them as, but the officers that got on the scene did a great job in terms of getting folks out, minimizing the injuries and deaths, and at the same time stabilizing the incident, containing him upstairs.
What can you say about the partnership between CPD, your sheriff's office, and the state law enforcement division?
Well, we work very closely together. And our specialized units do, and when incidents of this type occur, we try to respond because there's, opportunity maybe from a little bit different perspective to offer advice or recommendation, but at the same time, it's somewhat of a learning opportunity. So, we've tried to do that as much as we can. The relationship amongst the law enforcement community here is outstanding, has been for a long time, and today is another example of it. You have a seamless operation here, as occurred with the tragic situation around Mother Emanuel.
Was that a stun grenade we heard earlier?
I think that may have been.
And did the wounded person, the person upstairs, was the person wounded the hostage? I know the shooter
No.
was wounded.
Yes. Just,
Any officers wounded?
We've only got a total of 2 individuals. One that was found and extracted and deceased, and then the shooter who is in pretty critical condition.
So no officers injured?
No.
I want to ask, there have been some reports when officers first arrived there was a body on the street, and then earlier we heard that the person was found inside the restaurant. The person who is deceased, where was this individual found?
I'm not sure the specifics of that, but in any event they got him and the other patrons out so that they could be transported. And at the same time, entered, because you had an active shooter situation, entered and cleared the lower floor and contained him in the second floor.
And one more question. Obviously, this is a busy section of King Street. What's your opinion of the response time to get everyone inside the buildings and out of harm's way?
Actually, by the time I got here, they had evacuated all the businesses in front of and adjacent to the incident location very, very rapidly.
Thank you, Sheriff.